In section 5.5 we're going to be factoring trinomials. The first thing we need to always do is check for our greatest common factor. If there's one, we have to take it out before we begin our process. We're going to use a bottoms up method, and when it's three terms, there's a known 1 right here, so that with there being a known 1 there, we want to know what multiplies to give us the outside. 1 times 20 is 20, and adds to give us our inside term. So we want to know all the factors that give us 20. That's 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 4 times 5. And we stop there with different factors, and you can to see if any combination of these could possibly give us a 9. Well, when we look over here, we say, oh yeah, 4 and 5 can give us 9. If I multiply these two, 4 times 5, I get 20. If I add these two, I get the inside. So once you've determined your factors, then we're going to take the factors that we just got, and we're going to put them over this 1 and then this x. We're going to split this up, so that's a 1 and an x. So we don't really have to show the 1, it's a known 1 there. And then once you have that, you see if this fraction simplifies. Nothing simplifies, so therefore we write this bottoms up. So you x plus 4. And this one over here, you're going to get x plus 5. And this is factored form. Okay, our next problem, we're going to play with factors that multiply to give us 1. 1 times negative 54 is negative 54. Okay, so first of all, let's just play with factors that give us 54, and then we'll take care of the sign next. So 54 is 1 times 54, 2 times 27, 3 times 18, 6 times 9. We stop. Is there any of those that when I use a combination of them that could possibly get me a positive 3? Now we have to take into account that one of these factors has to be negative, so that when you multiply them you get a negative 54. So, and I'm seeing a 6 and a 9 could get me a 3, so I want to figure out, I need this to be a positive 3, so that when I add these I need it to be a positive 3. That means if I put the negative with the 6, I'm going to check that. Negative 6 times 9 is negative 54, yes. Negative 6 plus 9 is a positive 3, yes. Once you've found your factors, you're going to take first factor and your second factor, and you're going to write them over 1 and an x, which is just x. 1 and an x. Now simplify the fractions. Nothing simplifies in these, either one of these, so we're going to write bottoms ups. X minus 6 in parentheses, and then x plus 9 in parentheses. And the way you can check to see if you factored this correct is if you FOIL this out, you should get your original polynomial. Okay, and the next one we're going to check for a GCF. We always check there first, and we see that it doesn't have a GCF. Actually, yes it does. They all have a y squared in them right there. So we want to take out our GCF, which is y squared. When you take a y squared out of the first term, you have x squared. Out of the second term, you'll have a 4x left, and then plus 3. Once you've taken the GCF out, you want to check your remaining parenthesis and see if we can do bottoms up to it. So we want to know if something multiplies to give us 1 times 3 is 3, so that's just the only way to get that is that. But when you add them, you get 4, so yes, that factors works, because when we multiply them, we get the outside, and when we add them, we get the inside. So we're going to take those factors, a 1 and a 3, I'm going to put it over our 1x and our 1x, and then simplify. So we write from the bottoms up, x plus 1, x plus 3. Do not forget to drop your original GCF that we factored out the first time. So this is going to be our solution. On the next one, let's check for a GCF. There is no GCF, so we want to try the rooftop method and see what multiplies to give us 3 times 4 is 12. So this time it wasn't a 1 here, so we say 3 times 4 is 12, but when we add them, we want an 8. So let's just play with factors of 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Well, we know we can see that 2 and 6 is going to work. When we multiply them, we get 12. When we add them, we get our middle term, which is 8. Now, when there's a coefficient right here, we got to make sure to include that. So first thing we're going to do, just like before, we take our factors, 2 and 6. Then we're going to put it over. In all of the other cases, we had a 1 there, so we just put 1x and a 1x. This time we have a 3 here, so we're going to have a 3x and a 3x. You have to include that. And now we have to simplify our fractions. Well, 2/3 doesn't simplify, but 6/3 does. So we want to divide by 3 and we get a 1. Divide by 3 and you get a 2. Now we want to write from the bottoms up. So 3x plus 2 in this first one. And then the second one, it's 1x, which is just x plus 2. You have to simplify your fractions or it's going to be wrong. So be careful to do that.